Good evening, Britannia, and hello to the rest of the world. Welcome back to the channel. And we've just reached 559,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for all the love and support. The channel continues to grow massively on a daily basis, about 3,000 followers a day now. We're getting closer and closer to 600,000 and soon half actual million. Let's talk about what happened today in the House of Commons. We had the new members of Parliament of course, going in and officially being sworn in and showing allegiance to our constitution and the crown, of course. Nigel Farage made his first official speech as the leader of Reform UK. But in this video, we're going to show you a few things from what happened today, not just Nigel. Because when Nigel made his speech, we had people in Parliament, in the House, rolling their eyes, moaning, and you also had, as usual, what's his name? Jeremy Corbyn moaning about the constitution. We had a number of left-wing MPs, especially from Northern Ireland, who kicked off about the allegiance part of the ceremony, and of course Naas Shah as well. Let's talk about all this. Of course, Reform UK have massive challenges ahead because they don't really have parliamentary experience apart from Lee Anderson. But obviously they have now appointed Lee Anderson as the chief whip of Reform. It's still funny. I mean, these guys are my friends at Reform, but it's funny that they still need a chief whip for 5 MPs. Obviously they need, on a technical level, they still need a chief whip anyway. But it's not going to be a difficult job for Lee, controlling 5 MPs, basically 4. Although until obviously Jim officially defects to Reform from Northern Ireland. Let's quickly go to the speech Nigel made, and then I'm going to talk about what else happened. Let's.
I now call the leader of Reform UK, Nigel Farage.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker-elect, thank you very much indeed. We are the new kids on the block. We have no experience in this Parliament whatsoever, even though some of us have tried many times over the years previously to get here. So we can't judge you from working in this place, but we can judge you from the way the outside world sees you. And I don't just mean the United Kingdom, I mean the world, because Prime Minister's Questions time is global box office politics, and it's pretty clear to everybody that you act with great neutrality, that you have brought tremendous dignity to the role as Speaker, so we absolutely endorse you entirely for this job. And it is, I must say, in marked contrast to the little man that was there before you and besmirched the office so dreadfully, in doing his best to overturn the biggest democratic result in the history of the country. We support you, sir, fully.
That was in reference to John Bercow, the former Speaker of the House of Commons, who tried his best to stop Brexit, and the will of the people didn't go too well for John Bercow, did it? So he just became a little bit a celebrity on TV. Well, Channel 4, he's done a couple of weird stuff on panels, but nobody cares about John Bercow. While that was happening, obviously the eyes were rolling. Oh, Nigel speaking. Weird things started to happen. Jeremy Corbyn, first he was making jokes, which is nice. And then once again, he's been an MP. Well, for the record, based on the evidence we have, Jeremy Corbyn has been a member of Parliament in the UK for the past 623 years. And he does this every single time. It's getting annoying, Jeremy. If you wonder what I'm talking about him moaning about the Constitution.
Read it properly. Don't mess about.
Roman Catholic Bible?
No, it's just the Old and the New Testament, isn't it?
Oh, it's the New Testament.
The Old and the New.
Old.
Really? Did he really? He's not really being original. He's just moaning every single time. Oh, it's a load of bollocks. Let's just say I don't care. But that's not really the surprising part. We also had, once again, more left-wing MPs. The socialist MPs are increasing, obviously, from different parties as well. But these are the socialists who have no respect for the constitution, essentially, and the kingdom, especially those from Northern Ireland. Let's talk about, for example, a couple of the SDLP MPs, because they think they're being cool. They think they're being trendy. Because they said, I'm doing this under protest. Oh, so stunning and brave. You are becoming an MP under protest.
I'll read out the Assembly formula in order to represent my constituents, but it's under protest. I do solemnly, sincerely and truly declare and affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles, his heirs and successors according to law. My true allegiance is to the people of Derry and the people of Ireland. Thank you very much.
So stunning and brave. Just a quick heads up, this channel does not condone spamming, especially when you copy and paste the same comment. George Black Cat Midco, whatever it is. Just a final warning, if you, even though you support Kanzuk, which is good, Kanzuk is good, but don't spam, otherwise you will be banned. Right, let's go back to another SDLP MP. They're all weirdos. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to show you the video itself. No need to comment.
Friendship and in hope of a reconciled New Ireland, my allegiance is to the people of Belfast South and Mid Down, and I say these words in order to serve them. I do solemnly, sincerely and truly declare and affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles, his heirs and successors according to law.
Blah, blah, blah. My allegiance is to Belfast. Well, Belfast is still part of the kingdom, whether you like it or not. So, obviously, she was still wishing for the reunification of Ireland, as usual. It's not really a surprise. They always say it every time this happens. And, of course, we had Naas Shah. Yes, one of our favourite Labour MPs. Of course, Naas is the MP for Bradford West, or as we say these days, the Islamic State of Bradford West. And of course she used the Quran instead of the Bible because, yeah.
Member of Parliament for Bradford West.
And the oath on the Quran.
On the Quran.
Would you like to handle it yourself
Yeah.
outside the box?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could step through and just...
I swear by Almighty Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles, his heirs, and
Almighty Allah. I mean, on the one hand, they keep going around every day saying, well, Allah is just God in Arabic. It's just a different language. You know, it's just God. And then when they start speaking English, they're still dropping Allah instead of God. Well, I swear to Allah. So that's happening. And then she was wearing a headscarf, right? Because she was like, well, this is a holy ceremony. Ooh, it's the House of Commons. They got cheap drinks. Even though I can't drink because I told everyone I'm Islamic. But then she's going to take it off. She's going to take the whole scarf off when she sits. In the words of Tom MacDonald, burn the circus down because the world is full of clowns. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just complete embarrassment. Absolutely embarrassment. Maggie says that SDLP AOLD does not speak for many of us. They live persecuting soldiers. They're a bunch of weirdos anyway. The SDLP MPs. Right, let's see what else we have. Has this channel just become a mouthpiece for reform now? Just. I love the keyword, just. Not before, not during the election, just now. Yeah, the same 2CTV that got a lot of attacks from Reform UK supporters for criticising Richard Tice and his handling of the candidate selection. The same 2CTV that's been attacking Reform UK constructive criticism by telling them over the last few years that they need to sort out the local branches years before the election. The same 2CTV that still had to find it hard to get into a press conference of Reform because it was full. Same Reform, the same 2CTV that will remain independent because I hate party politics and I'm not getting involved in any of that nonsense. But of course, if that triggers people, I'm not sorry. Anyway. Super chat. Oh, we have a super chat. Angel, thank you very much for your super chat and your support. Dave says, rest in peace, Britain. From Japan. Thank you, Dave from Japan. And that's just sand. Matthew says, this channel is a mouthpiece for Bumban. See, Matthew pays attention because I'm controlled financially and physically by Bamban. Again, if you're watching this for the first time and you're confused, it's not a euphemism. Bamban is my bunny rabbit. Funny part is the Muslims can't swear on the name of Allah. It is not allowed in Islam. Firstly, if you mix the Quran and becoming a member of parliament, in terms of spiritually, also in terms of technicality, and if you have to swear, for example, show allegiance to a Christian king, I have a feeling the people who wrote the book are not going to be too happy about that, because you're still basically showing allegiance to a Christian king, no matter what you're trying to spin it like. James says, it's a channel to expose left-wing and Islamic nutters and expose the truth, unlike the mainstream media. The channel is there, obviously, now. The channel started TCTV a few years ago to give you guys Brexit news when we were going through the Brexit negotiations. And then lockdown happened, and obviously it became about keeping people a little bit optimistic and hopeful during lockdown. Everybody was depressed. And then following that, obviously, it became a daily news channel. And it wasn't really my fault that most of the stuff happening was left-wing idiocy and the corporate media. These days, obviously, we report things on a global scale. This is the international channel now. Anything that happens in Canada or Israel or Iran or obviously Brazil these days, with all the weirdos in charge of Brazil, we will report. It is simply about holding the establishment to account and also telling you guys the stories, news stories that is being either ignored by the corporate media or they're doing their own spin. And so that's what we do on 2CTV. Bun for Prime Minister. That would be a scary thought. What else do we have in the live chat from you guys, you beautiful people? Also notice she was female. The Islamic side will not be happy taking orders from her. Also, if she were in an Islamic country, a fundamental Islamic country, could not be allowed to be a member of parliament anyway. You can only have your freedoms in Christian England, and well, of course, Britain as well. So, Jasper says, Iran belongs to Persians, not Islamists. Jerusalem belongs to Jews, not Islamists. Islam is a colonial virus. And of course, Britain belongs to Britain, not Islamic side. But things are changing now, as we have seen already, obviously, over the last few days. We had a number of new Islamists and Islamist sympathizer members of parliament who have now entered the House of Commons. And I'm personally looking forward to do debates and clashes between Reform UK MPs, Nigel Farage and others, with those independent Islamists, because I do not see a scenario where the Conservative Party are going to be holding them to account. Don't really see the Labour Party having any clashes with these guys anyway. So somebody needs to do it. Obviously, 2CTV will be here to keep an eye on their behaviour in the House of Commons. Gary, thank you very much for your super chat. Kevin says, if the football wasn't on, you would have been on 560 by now. 560, oh, thousands. I think you mean the viewers, because I said we have 2,300 people watching live. But yes, in terms of the number of subscribers. Is it still 2-1? It's still 2-1. Spain are beating the French. It's not really a good week for France. First, the government fell. Now they can't find a prime minister. And then they burned down their own cities. And now they're getting kicked out of Euros. So, I mean, they still can come back technically. But so far, they're not doing a good job. I will take one or two more questions before I go and watch the rest of the game. And if obviously anything else happens in the next hour or so, we'll come back and give you guys the breaking news. Things seem to be calming down, but of course there's a quick update from the clash between Israel and Hezbollah, and of course Hamas in Gaza as well. A group of terrorists have now been eliminated earlier today in Gaza, but they are also claiming, we are waiting for the confirmation and verification, that an IRGC militant, one of the commanders, has been eliminated as well near Lebanon and Syria. We will keep you guys posted when we have the confirmation on that later on as well. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. I'm Maya Tusi, and we are the media.